Caroline was no stranger to fear, but after weeks spent in the house, her terror had become something far more primal. The shadows that haunted her days and the whispers that filled her nights had slowly chipped away at her resolve. She had come here seeking answers, and now, as the house closed in on her, she realized she could not turn back. The truth, whatever it was, awaited her in the darkest recesses of this cursed place. The chest in the basement had been the start of her descent into the house's history, but the real question was, what had the skeleton key unlocked? The unsettling visions, the growing sense of malevolence, all seemed tied to the rituals and dark magic that had seeped into the very bones of the house. Determined to uncover the truth, Caroline knew she had to learn more about the previous caretakers, those who had come before her. She needed to understand their fate, and how it all connected to the house, the key, and the enigmatic whispers of voodoo rituals. Caroline had always known that the house held secrets, but she had no idea how deep they ran. The basement, with its heavy air and oppressive silence, had felt like the final layer of the mystery. Yet, as she began searching the space more thoroughly, she uncovered something new, an old, dust-covered ledger hidden beneath the loose stone in the wall. The book was fragile, its pages yellowed with age, and the faint scent of mildew clung to it. As she flipped through the ledger, she found names written in careful, looping handwriting. The list spanned decades, possibly centuries, and beside each name was a date of arrival and departure. But something caught her eye: the names of the caretakers. Each entry had a note in the margins. Some were brief, almost cryptic: vanished, found dead in the woods, and even disappeared without a trace. The notes told of tragic fates, of people drawn to the house and consumed by it. Caroline's heart raced as she turned the pages faster, searching for any commonality, something that tied them all together. One name stood out: Margaret Devereux, 1893–1895. The last entry under her name read, "Cursed, bound to the key." The words sent a chill down Caroline's spine. Margaret's death had been recorded as a suicide, but here, it was different. There was something far darker at play. Among the names, one entry was newer than the others: James Lawson, 1978–1980. His fate wasn't listed as clearly as the others. Instead, a strange symbol was scrawled next to his name, one that looked disturbingly similar to the markings Caroline had seen in her dreams. Feeling a surge of curiosity, Caroline decided to learn more about James Lawson. She remembered seeing a locked drawer in the library upstairs, one she hadn't been able to open before. Perhaps Lawson had left something behind, a clue, a piece of the puzzle. After hours of searching, she finally found a small key hidden beneath the loose floorboard in the study. It fit the drawer perfectly. Inside was a small, leather-bound journal. The first few pages were mundane, filled with notes about the house's upkeep and repairs. But as Caroline read on, the tone shifted. The entries became more frantic, more desperate, as if James had been unraveling the same mystery she was now caught in. Entry: April 1979. I've seen things I can't explain. At night, the house feels alive, watching me. The dreams are getting worse, each one filled with shadows and voices that call my name. I found something strange in the attic today. Old relics, things that belong to the Devereux family. There was a box, and inside, a key. I think it's the skeleton key. But why would they hide it? Asterisk. Entry: July 1979. The dreams won't stop. I keep seeing a woman, pale and thin, her eyes hollow and lifeless. She holds the key, but every time I reach for it, the shadows swallow her hold. I think she's trying to warn me. There's something in this house, something that's been here long before the Devereaux. The key is tied to it, but I don't understand how. Asterisk. Entry. December 1979. I made a terrible mistake. I used the key. I thought it might open a door, but it's opened something else. I feel it now, in the walls, in the floors. It watches me, waits for me. There's a darkness here, and I think it's tied to those rituals. I found an old book about voodoo, hidden in the library. The Devereaux family practiced it. They summoned something, but they couldn't control it. Now it's bound to this place. I have to get out before it's too late. The entries ended abruptly. There was no explanation of what had happened to James Lawson, but his warnings were clear. Whatever force was tied to the key, it had claimed him. Determined to learn more about the Devereaux family and the rituals Lawson had mentioned, Caroline turned her attention to the old book he had found. She spent hours combing through the library until she finally located it. A worn, leather-bound tome with faded symbols etched into the cover. The book was filled with details about voodoo practices, rituals meant to summon spirits and control forces beyond the physical world. Caroline's hands trembled as she turned the pages, reading about how the Devereaux family had been heavily involved in these dark arts. Margaret Devereaux, in particular, had been consumed by her obsession with the skeleton key. She believed that through a combination of voodoo and the key, she could unlock the secrets of life and death. But her rituals had backfired, trapping her in the house alongside the dark spirit she had summoned. The key, it seemed, was not just a tool, it was a prison. Caroline now knew that to uncover the full truth, she would need to return to the basement. The chest had been a clue, but it was clear there was more hidden beneath the house's surface. Armed with the knowledge from the book, she descended once again into the basement's depths. This time, she noticed something she had missed before: faint symbols etched into the walls, barely visible under the layers of dust and grime. They matched the ones in the voodoo book, and as she traced them with her fingers, she felt a deep, unsettling vibration beneath her feet. Following the symbols, she came to a hidden door, one she hadn't noticed before. It was small, almost like a crawlspace, and it led deeper underground. With a sense of foreboding, Caroline crawled through the narrow passage, emerging into a room that reeked of decay and old magic. The walls were lined with strange objects, animal bones,